Join Dalton and Jacob as they discuss the ever-changing world of trading card games. TCG Buzz starts now.
Hey TCG Buzz fans, it's Jacob, and turns out I'm a big fucking nerd. So I've always been interested in trading card games. It's kind of my lifelong passion. And I'm also a stats guy. So I've been combining those two interests for years. I was into trading card investing way before it was cool. I probably started around 2014, 2015, really getting into it. Beginning first with Pokemon, and then expanding into other stuff. Getting really big into Magic investing. Probably around 2017, 2018, primarily old school Magic stuff. I'm not trying to brag, but I'm pretty good at it. I just realized I have my headphones on. I'm not going to redo any of that beginning stuff, guys. I just forgot my headphones on, so, yeah. So, I'm pretty good at it, and I've had tons of success doing it, and also it's helped me to appreciate the games I love more. I'm not necessarily the greedy scumbag investor type, but I'm also not the paragon who's, to even think about value in trading card games ruins the experience. I'm probably closer to this side, to be perfectly honest. In the past, I have done a couple of videos talking about this subject, and some of them were received very well, particularly the Pokemon ones I did, and even some of the stuff talking in general. The Yu-Gi-Oh one I did, not received very well. I'm glad you guys can't see that dislike bar. And a very interesting thing happened to me a couple of years ago. I was discovered through those videos by a group of like-minded people who were interested in card game investing, and I was hired on as a writer writing articles about primarily the Pokemon card market. Now, I'm not just a Pokemon guy. In fact, Pokemon's probably one third, fourth on my list of priorities, but when it comes to investing and collecting particularly, that's the primary thing, with Magic secondary, and whatever else is third. And I got really good at it. If any of you out there are from the group that I wrote for, I'm sure you can attest that people like my posts. Well, that group doesn't exist anymore. It's a long story that I only know some of the, half of the details of, so I'm not going to get into it. But the point is, I don't have that creative outlet to talk about that stuff anymore, so you guys are stuck with it. I figured, why not do that in video form? So if you guys are cool with me just sitting here plopped down in front of you, talking about investing in card games, let me know. Because that's what we're doing today, is kind of a pilot experiment thing. They're not always going to be about a particular game. Sometimes it will be general concept stuff. Sometimes it will be very, very specific. But my goal here is not just to make money. I am someone who likes seeing the value of the things I purchase go up. But it's also going to help you appreciate the stories of why things are valued as we go, if this is something that doesn't crash and burn. So I'm going to kind of give you a taste of the type of topic that I'd like to cover on this, and you can let me know if this is something you're interested in. Today, I'd like to talk about Pokemon cards, specifically. Sorry if that's not your game. And how I think cards from the X and Y era of Pokemon are extremely undervalued and underappreciated. Today, we're not going to get into specific graphs or numbers or anything like that. I just wanted to say that during its time, if you weren't there, the X and Y era was kind of a real big weak point for the Pokemon card game. At least it was perceived that way at the time. That might also be partially due to the Pokemon brand itself being at one of its less relevant points. There are a lot of good X and Y era sets, but they were sort of underappreciated at the time, and some of that has lingered on to today. Sure, lots of people love X and Y evolutions, which, fun fact, is by far my least favorite X and Y set. That's just how the cookie crumbles. But there are a lot of really good things in the X and Y era. There are lots of good valued cards that I could go on about for hours, but I'm not. Today, I'd like to talk about the sealed product for X and Y, because it should not be as cheap as it is. Not only should it not be as cheap as it is, it should not be nearly as cheap as it is. I'm not trying to be hype man, buy, stonks, shut up and take my money guy. But it's absolutely ridiculous that X and Y sleeved booster packs are, depending on the set, between $8-9 for something really overprinted and less desirable right now, like Steam Siege, to your really beloved sets like Roaring Skies being like $15 a pack. That's absurd to me. And I said sleeved booster packs specifically because you should not be buying loose booster packs on the open market unless you really, really, really know what you're doing. You should buy sleeve booster packs, though. That's a good way to start collecting on the cheap because the cost of entry is low, which also means that the cost to sell is low. It's much easier to ship a single booster pack, and it's much easier to find a buyer who's stupid and impulsive like me and will go, yes, I'll buy that X and Y Flash Flyer booster pack. I can afford it. It's only $90. That's a future joke price, kind of. I'm not saying it's $90. Please don't take it that way. And what you need to understand is, I don't care what the contents of the X and Y booster packs are. You can say, Steam Siege. Sorry for picking on Steam Siege so much. Fates Collide, or blah, 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 whatever set you don't like. This card is garbage cards. I mean, the highest end card is only $25 from the set, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. Yes, having a more expensive Pokemon pack with more expensive cards in it will lead to higher value over time. But you want to know a secret about Pokemon? Everything gets expensive. Everything. You look at X and Y or earlier booster packs, and there's startling things you can find out. Look at one of the worst sets of its era. Probably the worst set. The era before X and Y. With black and white, by far, worst set, hot take, off the top of my head, is Emerging Powers. Emerging Powers booster packs still have value because it's Pokemon cards that you can't find because they're old and they're sealed. All Pokemon packs appreciate in price, as long as they're not tampered with or anything like that. And right now, the vast majority of X and Y booster packs are, between 3 and 5 times retail. And they've been that way for a long, long time. And the stock is disappearing. There's much less around than there once was. And in particular, a major reason for that is, and I know you're sick of hearing about COVID, but COVID. Particularly because of the mad rush that COVID created. COVID made everyone go crazy about Pokemon cards because everyone else was talking about them, and because certain sets were expensive and cool and shiny, but most importantly because people were bored and nostalgic and stressed, and it's a fun thing to get into. And I'm sure I don't have to tell you just how big the explosion of Pokemon popularity was during particularly the early parts of the quarantine. And what that means is people rushed out to the stores to pick up as much Pokemon as they can. They wanted, all the hot sets. Shining Legends, Hidden Fates, like Vivid Voltage when it came out, I guess. Champion's Path, that kind of stuff. And what happened was they showed up and there was none of those sets. You were lucky if you could find any Pokemon cards at all. I'm sure you guys have all seen the empty shelves from back in the day, and to this day, you still have stores with limits on purchases. And let's say you show up to your local Target, Walmart, Walgreens, Burlington Coat Factory to pick up some Pokemon cards, and all they've got left are a couple clearance packs of X and Y era stuff, or early Sun and Moon era stuff. You're going to buy it. Not because you wanted it, but because you want to leave without being empty-handed. And no one from that time period kept those types of things sealed. I want to rip it. I want to be like Logan Paul, right? Not Jake Paul. Paul. I want to be like him, and I want to show off my cool Pokemon cards I pulled. There was more Pokemon product ripped in the period from early 2020 to 2021 and probably the past 5-6 years before that combined. And printing kept going. And in fact, printing was dramatically increased. But what was being printed? The stuff people wanted. More Hidden Fates, more new sets, more hot stuff. The 17,000th reprint of X and Y Evolutions Elite Trainer boxes. They're not going back and reprinting Breakpoint. And what that has caused is X and Y sets in particular, but generally anything from pre-COVID that did not have the time to accumulate value to be mass opened. And there is less of them than there should be. That's not to say there's some crazy shortage and you should go out right now and buy every single booster pack you can. But you should totally do that. I'm doing that. I've been buying a lot of sealed product of X and Y and Sun and Moon and stuff. Not because I want to make crazy amounts of money on that. That's a nice advantage too. But I'm also a collector, someone who likes to have his dragon's hoard of cool treasures, which happen to be shiny cardboard. And I think they're neat. So I've been collecting that kind of stuff for a while now. And I've noticed, over time, people are sleeping on it. That's all I have to say for today. This was kind of impromptu. I kind of decided I was going to record this like 20 minutes ago and didn't really plan it out. So it is a little free form, so sorry about that if that's not something you're into. If you want me to plan these out more, let me know. I'd really like your opinion more than anything on this type of video. Even if you're someone who's, die-hard, super against investing in cards or thinking of cards with a monetary mindset, I'd still like to know what you think of this. And hopefully you can learn a thing or three or two. And if you guys want to talk more about this type of stuff, I'll leave a link to our Discord in the comment below or the description. God, I'm rusty. I haven't recorded a video in like forever, so I'm sorry. I'll get better. No, I won't. See you next time.
Thanks for listening to TCG Buzz. New episodes can be found on tcgbuzz.com. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. For box openings, deck profiles, and more, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel.